Hello again there, Nose Creep. This time the wellness link you've clicked on is the home workout challenge. So our home workout today is going to consist of three things: a push, a pull, and something for our core. Now you might be thinking, well, what about our legs, Mr. Stewart? But I guess you haven't clicked on the squat challenge video yet, so that's out there too. Anyways, what we're going to start with is basic push-ups. It's good to master the basics, and I just want to point out a few keys to any kind of push-up before we start showing you a few different ways to make them more challenging or a little easier. Okay, so the first thing you want to make sure of is your hand position. I'm going to get down here. My hands are just right about at my shoulder width and in a position that I'm comfortable with. Then when you go down into your push-up position, what a lot of people start to do is flare their elbows out. And you don't want to do that. You want to keep your elbows tucked in. Down and back up. Another common mistake that people make is letting their butt sag a little bit or rounding their back. Both of those will cause problems like this. So if you're rounding your back, the first thing that's going to hit is your chin. You want to straighten that back out. And then if you're letting things sag a little bit, the first thing that hits is your hip bones. And you don't want that either. You want to keep that nice straight back, down, and up. Now, if you want to make it easier or more difficult, the easiest way to do that is to incorporate angles. We talk about angles all the time in gym class. Angles when we're stretching, angles to get past an opponent when we're dodging, angles for this, angles for that. Angles are really important. If you want to make a push-up easier, you want to decrease how much weight you're pushing. The easiest way to do that is to use stairs. So if I go to the stairs and I'm pushing from the top, I'm pushing less of my body weight and it's easier. If you put your feet up on the stairs, find that good hand position again, get my 2 feet up. Then, because you've got your feet elevated, you're pushing more of your body weight. And it becomes a more challenging exercise. So, I would say the most important thing is to go for about 8 to 10 repetitions, but what you don't want to do is work so hard that you are not following proper form. And that's it for the push-up. I hope you have fun with those. Thanks a lot. So the next part of our workout today is going to be some rows, or pulling. Now, if you've got some weights at home you can use, that's great, but I've improvised something so that you don't have to worry about weights. It's my trusty jug of water. Now what's great about this is that they come in different sizes, of course. So you can buy a 1 liter one, a 2 liter one. This is a 4 liter one. And then you can adjust how much weight you're going to use by how much water. 2 important things to remember. Number 1, screw that lid on tight. And these are not the kind of weights that you can just drop anywhere because they'll explode and cause a big, big mess. But here's the exercise. So I'm going to use my couch. You could use a bench. You could use a pair of chairs. But I'm going to support my hand here and my knee up here. So this arm that's supported on the couch is supporting a lot of my weight. Then I'm going to grab my 4 liter jug and I'm just going to be pulling up like this. Nice and slow and controlled. I'm letting my arm go all the way down to the bottom and I'm going to pause at the top. I'm not yanking back so that my back is arched. I'm keeping my back nice and flat. Just a nice pull up. And with an exercise like this, depending on how much weight you decide to use, I would say you could probably do 15 to 20 pulls per arm. Hold at the top. And hold at the top. And again, the easiest way to make this exercise easier or more difficult for you is adjusting your weight right in here. Thanks so much. Hope you have fun with that one. All right, so the next exercise we're going to talk about is the plank. And the plank is for your core, those muscles that run up and down your spine, front and back, and help give us a good posture. Really important in life, they're really important in sports, and it's good to develop them. So the way we're going to do that today is with the plank. Now, the plank's an old exercise, but there's still a few mistakes that people commonly make.
So the first thing you want to do when you get into the plank position, I've got my elbows tucked underneath my shoulders and my forearms are just slightly out. That's going to help to relax your upper back and hold the position properly. The next thing, which you want to make sure of, is that you're getting a nice straight line from the top of your head to your back, right down here, right down. So, it should look something like about this. Now, a couple problems that some people sometimes have, they will overcompensate a little bit and raise their butt up. You don't want to do that. You're going to hurt your big toes, first of all, and it's not engaging the muscles properly in the front and the back. Another thing that you see, and this is when people start to get tired, they start to sag down. And again, when you're not engaging those muscles properly like that, you're not teaching them the proper way to activate. The last problem that some people sometimes have is arching their upper back like this too. And again, that sometimes gets to the point where people are trying to hold it for longer than they should, and they just need to rest, take a break, and come back to that proper form one more time. So the best thing about this exercise is that you can adjust how difficult it is just by how long you're holding it. And what I like to do is use my old stopwatch. You could use a timer, you could use anything like that, and see how long I can hold it properly, and then that becomes my goal, to hold it for that long every time, and then gradually over time you extend it. It's a lot more challenging than it looks. In fact, there's an old joke that goes, a man walks into a doctor's office and the doctor says, "Sir, I've got some terrible news for you. I'm really sorry, but you've only got a minute to live." Instantly, the guy jumps down into the plank position, and the doctor gets down and he says, "Maybe you didn't understand, sir. You've only got a minute to live." And he says, "Yeah, but if I'm planking for that minute, it'll seem like an eternity." So let's find out if he's right. If you find that position, elbows tucked under, hands flared out. Again, one foot out, the other one out. Start my timer and then just readjust my position so I know it's right. Well, that's 10 seconds down, not so bad so far. So things you want to remember is that when it does get tough, you want to stop, because you don't want to teach your muscles the wrong way to activate. One thing that's really, really important that we always talk about is that practice doesn't make perfect, practice makes permanent. Practice makes habits out of the things we do all the time. So if we choose to do them right, then that's going to improve us. But if we're making mistakes and we're doing sloppy form and poor technique, then in the end, those things are not going to help. They're going to hurt us in the end. And me blabbing on has already taken up 47 seconds. 13 more to go. 10, 8. Now I'm down to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and good. Not an eternity, but certainly a challenge. I hope you guys enjoy. Thanks a lot.